Hi, I'm PNC Joe, and I only talk about commercial insurance. Occupational disease coverage is a critical but often overlooked issue that can impact the health and well-being of employees in small businesses. When employees develop illnesses due to their work environment, it can lead to significant financial strains and legal challenges for the business owner. Understanding and addressing the complexities of occupational disease coverage is essential for protecting your team and ensuring the long-term success of your business. Keep watching because in this video we will discuss these important topics. What is occupational disease coverage? How are occupational diseases different from workplace injuries? What does occupational disease coverage include? How is an occupational disease defined and diagnosed? What is the process for filing a claim? Are there any diseases typically excluded from coverage? How does coverage differ for employees in different industries? What role does employer negligence play in coverage eligibility? And a bonus topic at the end. Let's go through these points one at a time. Occupational disease coverage is a type of insurance that may assist workers if they get sick because of their job, subject to the terms and conditions of the policy. This means if someone gets a disease or illness because of the work they do, this coverage might help pay for their medical bills and other costs, depending on the policy. It's like a safety net for workers to help them get better without worrying about money within the limits of their coverage. Occupational diseases happen over time because of the work environment or work activities. For example, a miner might develop lung disease after years of inhaling dust. On the other hand, workplace injuries are sudden, like slipping and breaking an arm at work. Both need attention, but they happen in different ways. This coverage usually helps with several things, subject to policy terms. First, it may pay for medical expenses, like doctor visits and medicines. Second, it might provide money if the worker can't work and loses wages. Third, it may cover rehabilitation costs to help the worker get back to their job. If the worker unfortunately passes away due to the disease, death benefits might be given to their family. Lastly, it may cover legal defense costs if there are any lawsuits. An occupational disease is when a person's job makes them sick. Doctors usually diagnose these diseases by looking at the person's work history and health records. They check if the illness is common among people with similar jobs. For example, if many painters have the same lung problem, it might be linked to their work with paint fumes. To file a claim, workers need to tell their employer about the illness as soon as possible. Then, they fill out forms provided by their employer or the insurance company. It's important to include doctor reports and any other evidence showing that the disease came from work. Once submitted, the insurance company reviews the claim and decides if it qualifies for coverage based on the policy terms. Yes, some diseases might not be covered. Each insurance policy has its own rules. Often, if a disease is not directly linked to the job, it might not be covered. For instance, common colds or flu that can be caught outside of work may not be included. Workers need to check their policy to know what's covered and what isn't. Different jobs have different risks. For example, factory workers might be more exposed to chemicals, while office workers might face less physical risk. Occupational disease coverage takes this into account. Policies might be more extensive for high-risk jobs to cover specific diseases known to affect that industry. If an employer is negligent, meaning they didn't provide a safe work environment, the worker might have a stronger case for coverage under certain circumstances. However, coverage is determined by the policy terms, and proving negligence can be complicated, often involving legal processes. Coverage limits are the maximum amount the insurance will pay for a claim. Exclusions are what the policy doesn't cover. For example, a policy might have a limit of $100,000 for medical expenses, meaning it won't pay more than that. Exclusions might include diseases unrelated to work or pre-existing conditions the worker had before starting the job. Different states have different rules about occupational disease coverage. This means what is covered in one state might not be in another. State laws might affect how much compensation a worker can get or how quickly they need to file a claim. Understanding these regulations is crucial for workers to know their rights and benefits. Understanding occupational disease coverage is vital for safeguarding the health and financial stability of both employees and businesses. By knowing the nuances of this type of insurance, from the distinctions between diseases and injuries to the specifics of coverage across various industries, you can ensure a safer and more supportive work environment for everyone involved. Stay informed. Take the necessary steps to protect your team and keep these topics in mind as you plan for the future. If you have any questions or ideas for future videos, please let me know in the comments below.